Hello and welcome to a new episode of Chasing 80s Toys. Now this won't come as a surprise to you, I imagine. One of my favorite toy lines is Masters of the Universe. Back in the day, in the 80s, I loved to watch the cartoon. I loved the toys and I got a lot of them back then, but there was always one vehicle that we never got. Oh, it was in the cartoon, you can see it there. But we never got it as a toy. That is until not that long ago, Mattel finally gave us, under the Origins Cartoon Collection toy line, this awesome vehicle, and I'm talking about Skeletor's Collector.
Amazing!
It's finally here in the Chasing 80s toy room, and I'm gonna unbox it, show it to you. We're gonna see what's what, put a few figures in there, put Gringer in there, let's have some fun. And so happy that this is here. I want to thank Mark from Old School Toys, that's where I got this awesome toy. Information about Old School Toys in the video description below. But now without further ado, let's get to the toy in question. We have a collector. Here we are again downstairs due to much better light condition. Here we have some natural light so I can show you the toy in its full glory. But before we get to the toy, there is the actual box to have a look at first. And it's beautiful. Like with all the big box sets, we got beautiful artwork and has a lot of things going on. What we have over here is the actual collector. Behind the controls we have Skeletor and Webster, and they got He-Man cornered. But help is on the way. On the side we have Man-at-Arms and Battle Cat. And above the skies of Castle Grayskull we have Teela and the Talon Fighter, followed by two Eternian Guards on Sky Sled. So things are looking good for the powers of good here. Let's have a look at the side of the box, because we always get little bits of artwork there too. There we have Hordex Minion. And on the other side we have She-Ra on Swiftwind. On the back we see some of the actual toys from the Origins toy line, and this is, like I mentioned before, the cartoon collection. Who do we have here that we already have? Well, we already have He-Man and Skeletor in the collection, Teela and Trapjaw, Man-at-Arms, Beastman. And who do we wait? Well, I hope we're gonna see Stratos, Webster, Evelyn and Merman arrive pretty soon. And who do we have behind the controls of the collector here? Clawful and Spycore. Don't think those came out yet. At the bottom of the box we have some information. Takes some assembly and things like that. Made in Vietnam. And at the top of the box we have some of the action features of the collector, and we're gonna dive into those once we open it. So speaking about open it, let's unbox this toy and see what the collector has to offer. There you have it, the collector. Very easy to put together, to assemble. Just get the two dorsal fins in. Doesn't come with a display stand. That's a bit of a shame, because it would be quite cool if you can get a display stand for this. There is an opening at the bottom, so maybe, and I will attempt that in just a bit, maybe you can use the display stand for the, let's say, the Wind Raider. Just gonna see if that's gonna hold the weight of this bigger vehicle. But it's beautiful. It's all in gray, bluish gray, and you get the yellowish from the windows, so Skeletor can see where he's going. So it's very basic looking in terms of colors. That's a real cool feature, to get the claws out and opening up like so reveals room for not one, not two, but 3 figures, and there's a golden chair or throne, if you like, in the back, so I think that's for Skeletor. And up front his minions can take the control, so we're gonna place a few figures in there in just a moment to see how that looks. There you have 3 figures in the collector. Fits perfectly. Due to the extra bit of articulation, you can easily fit in your Origins figures. I can trust Beastman to be the pilot on this one, and Trapjaw is the co-pilot. Sitting a bit far away from the controls, but I suppose they're gonna be alright. And Skeletor is in his golden throne in the back, nothing to worry about whatsoever. What can go wrong? And let's apply these blast effects. And of course it might be interesting to see if they can actually grab a figure like they're shown on the box. Here we have He-Man standing in the way of Skeletor's evil schemes once again. There comes one of the claws. And it actually fits perfectly around the waistline of your figure.
Let's see you pick on someone your own size, Skullface.
The figures seem to be well in place. Let's see what happens after that donut roll. Yeah, they're still in place. Let's see how some of the other figures in the toy line fit in. Bob, if you're watching this, what do you think? This is your gimmick, you thought of this first. Does that work or not? I'm not so sure. Let's get a few of the vintage figures from the 80s and see how they fit in. Here we got Half-Boot Skeletor and Battle Armor Skeletor from the 80s. And they sort of, in a very relaxed kind of way, sit in the chairs, or they're almost lying in the chairs because they don't have perfect articulation, but they sort of look alright. It still looks like Battle Armor Skeletor is holding the controls and Half-Boot Skeletor is sitting kind of alright. And this is the way we positioned the figures back in the day in the vehicles, so never had a problem with that back then, but there's no denying it looks way better with the Origins figures sitting behind the controls, or the way Skeletor is very relaxed sitting on his golden throne in the collector. That this is really meant for the Origins figures, but it's kind of cool getting 3 Skeletors in it. Let's see if it closes up. Yeah, it still closes. And here I got the collector balancing, and it's really balancing on the stand that you use for that you get for the Wind Raider. And it looks pretty cool seeing it on the stand, but this is really a too heavy vehicle, quite top heavy. It's just about balancing right now. But you can see the potential here. How cool does it look on a display stand? So maybe we're gonna get a dedicated display stand for it later on. Or maybe those of you who are very handy in creating or making a display stand on your own. The moment and there he goes. That's why I mean it's top heavy, but you can see in the back now it's the same size as the Wind Raider, so this just clicks in perfectly. Now we got a good look at the collector, see what it's all about. I think there's only one more thing that needs doing here, and that's to take our toys and play outside. Let's go! There you have it, Mattel's Origins Cartoon Collection Collector. I think that was a successful test flight, and now let's get back to the toy room and see this video out. There you have it, the collector is finally in the Chasing 80s toy room. It took about 40 years, but we have it and I love it. And that's all for today's video. As always, there will be more Chasing 80s toys content in the near future, so I hope to see each and every one of you on the next one.